Hey everybody, Brandy here doing my comments from my stampin' studio today. Today I want to share with you a fun technique, and that is foiling your pattern paper. Recently we made the discovery here in the Maker Forte design team that the Maker Forte's Rosey Days paper is able to be foiled. So I thought I would share with you some techniques that I used and sort of experimented with over the past week. So let's get started. All right, hey you guys. So I am going to be showing you some paper today from Maker Forte. This is their pattern paper pack called Rosey Days, and I just found out something very interesting. Alexandra from the Hedgehog Hollow, who is also the owner of Maker Forte, she did a video stating that this pattern paper, because it's laser printed, that we can actually use this pattern paper to create foiled backgrounds. And so I thought I would give it a go today, and here are some of the designs that is in the paper. I saw this side right here she had foiled, and it looked really nice, but I'm kind of curious about some of these others. Now it looks like some of it might not lend itself to being foiled like this, because there's a lot of different colors next to each other, and there's not a lot of contrast like this. So I'm just going to be kind of experimenting with a couple of these sheets to see how it looks when it's foiled. So the sheets that I decided to use today for my experiment is these two right here. They both have the same design, but one is a little bit darker than the other, and so I'm just wondering how it's going to hold up to foiling. Now I've had my laminator on for about 10 or 15 minutes now, and I'm hoping that it will be hot enough. I need to pull that in. I'm using the Royal Sovereign laminator. I got it from Amazon, and it's a fairly inexpensive laminator. Alright, so here is the foil that I'm going to be using, and I will post a link down below to all of these products, but I'm going to be using a red and a gold, and I want to do some Christmas backgrounds, and so I thought maybe I would try foiling out this to see how it goes. Alright, now I have lost my transfer sheets, so I just cut down a oversized piece of grid paper, and I'm just going to put the pattern paper down like this. Let me see if I can move my camera a little bit. You can see. And then I'm going to place down the foil right on top. And I'm not worried about some of the edges showing through, because I'm going to be cutting this down anyway. But let me see if I can put that all in the screen. There you go. All right, and so then I'm just going to place the sheet on top, and then I'm going to hold it together, and then I'm going to run it through the laminator. Let's see how this works. Hopefully it's hot enough. And we'll see it come out the other end. Again, I haven't done this before, so this is my first time doing it on video. It sounds like it's sticking to it, but we'll see. Looks like there was a little bit of a jam right there. I wonder what that was about. Probably my paper, because I don't have the actual transfer sheet, and it's the 6x6 is a little bit bigger than the than a piece of typing paper folded in half, so that's why I'm using the grid paper. So we'll see. Let me put that out of the way, pull this back, and let's see what it did. Oh, it looks like it folded the entire sheet. Well, that's not exactly what I intended. Oh no, wait, here it is. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So it shows the white through. Now it did look like it took some of the toner off on my paper on the back side, but I'm not really worried about that, because I'm going to be using this side, but that gives me a thought. I wonder what it's going to look like if I put a sheet through on that side. Let's try that. Alright, so this one has kind of a flower pattern here. It looks like poinsettia, so that's why I'm going to choose the red instead of the gold. And let me just fold that in half. Let's see what this does. It'll probably stick to the paper like it did before, but let's see if there's enough toner on that other side, even though it kind of came off on the paper. Alright, let's see what it did. So it didn't do too much damage to the other side. But let's pull this back and see what we have underneath. Oh wow. That looks pretty cool. Now it does look like there was some that didn't pick up. And I don't know if that's because some of the toner came off on the paper. But let me run another sheet through of foil and see if we can pick up any of that extra pieces that we missed. Let's run it through again. Okay, let's see if it picked up any extra. No, it didn't seem to. I think that the first time it came off too much on the paper, so that's the reason why it's not coming through. But if I had done that to begin with, that would have been a really pretty foiled job there. And this side still looks really great. All right, now let's compare that to doing it with the lighter color, and let's see how that comes out. This time I'm going to use gold. Alright, let's see what this is going to look like. I'm so excited. Okay. That back. I see some bubbling there. Not sure what I did for that, but yeah, don't know what happened there. It didn't foil the whole sheet. Let's try it one more time. Let me get another piece of gold. Trim this down. And it could be that the lighter color toner did not do as well as that darker color. So let me run it through again, and we'll see what it comes out with. There we go. All right, let's see if it did it any more on the second go around. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's bubbled up. Okay, so there you have it. So those lighter colors don't seem to foil as well, or at least it didn't for me. Let me see if there's any other sheets in that paper pack that would be good for this. So I'm really thinking this one would be really good. And I've got some other colors, and that side might be good as well. I don't think that one would be, and based on our last experiment with the lighter color, don't think that would be good as well. No, not on that one. No. This one would be a good one. Maybe on that one. I don't know, the gray. And that could potentially be, I'm going to do that side. Let's see what that happens with that. Actually, no, I want to do this. Let me do that. So I'm going to use the Wild Lilac color on this solid piece here, and I'm going to try to get it as lined up as best as possible because I want the whole thing covered. Now, this is about as good as I'm going to get it. Put that sheet down, hold it in place, run it through till it catches. Hopefully that will work. Kind of curious what that's going to look like. Now she's coming out with some more pattern paper packs, and I think that they're going to be keeping this in mind, specifically about being able to foil it. She didn't know it until after she got the paper in and tried it, that you could foil it. So it was kind of a pleasant surprise for her, and I think it's a pleasant surprise for all of us. All right, so let's pull this back, and hopefully that looks good. You see how it's kind of stuck to the whole thing? So let's see what happens when I pull it off. Oh wow, that's really pretty. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's really nice. Now I do see some red showing through, and I'm wondering if I put some more purple down, if it will change, or if I kind of like that red showing through. So anyway, there you have it. If you use the Rosey Days pattern paper pack from Maker Forte, you can run it through your laminator and create these beautiful foiled backgrounds. Okay, so I thought I would do a little experiment here. This is the negative of the pattern paper I did the foiling of right here. And I've already cut it down to card size. And this is what is left of that foil sheet. Now I took a piece of Neenah Solar White paper here, and I applied some of the Deco Foil Transfer Gel Dual. I did this yesterday, and I did a very thin layer, and I used my little scrapey tool here from scrapbook.com and just did a very, very thin layer. So I'm going to put the foil, that's negative of the foil, down and see what we can get on there. See what it looks like. So I'm just going to put it in my little piece of graph paper here, and let's pull in the laminator. It's been on for quite some time, so it should be nice and hot. We'll see what this looks like. Now I'm curious about all of the open spaces, if I can go back with another piece of foil and fill in. So first I'm going to do the patterned negative space, and then take a look at that and then see if I can put in a different color in the inside. So we'll see. Okay, pull this back. All right, let's pull back the foil. Oops. Looks like some of the gel got seeped through. Okay, so let's pull this back. Look at that. That looks really pretty. Now there's some spots that got missed there, and it looks like the paper kind of crinkled up. I don't have the best of transfer sheets, so that's probably why. But now I'm curious about all of the little spots in between. So I'm going to get a different color. I'm going to choose gold and see what we can come up with. All right, so we've got that down. I'm going to need to get another piece of graph paper. Okay, so I'll put this down. I'm going to lay the gold on top and feed it through again. Let's see how this comes out. Alright, so some of that gel is kind of leaking out here, but we'll cut this down. Now I can tell you right now it's looking pretty good because it looks like there isn't very many bubbles and stuff, so it should work well. Well, let's see here. You can kind of see that design in there, and I think I kind of liked it better with just the red, but it is interesting that, you know, maybe if those lines had been a little bit thicker, it would have come out a little bit better, but I think it looks good. I can make a card out of that. Kind of got that little distressed look going on. Okay, so I wanted to show you the cards that I made with the backgrounds that I had foiled. The paper that I used was the pattern paper from the Rosey paper pack from Maker Forte, and I'll just go by one. So this is the background that I foiled. It originally was that dark blue with that pretty pattern, and I just used the stamp set from Maker Forte called Big Holiday Sentiment, and then just sort of blinged it up with some rhinestones. I will post a link down below with all of the supplies that I used. Most of it is from Maker's Forte, but some of it was not. The cardstock that I used here was their card fronts, their heavyweight card fronts, and the Eclipse cardstock. It's a very sturdy cardstock, and it's really good for card bases. This next one I'm really kind of excited about. So this one had this kind of pinky splotchy ink, and then it had a black outline of this beautiful, I'm not sure if that's a rose or what, but I wasn't quite sure how that was going to turn out and if it would stick to all the blotches, but it did not, and I think it's because that color is so light. So I just foiled it with some lilac, or not lilac, I don't know, I'll have to look at the supplies, but anyway, I foiled it with this little pretty pink foil there, if you can see. And then I heat embossed the word thanks, which is also a Maker Forte stamp set, and then I just put it on some craft foam and placed it on the card base, and again I used the Eclipse card base from Maker Forte. This was originally some black stripes on this pattern paper, and I ran it through with a rainbow foil. And then I used the Happy Birthday words from Pink Fresh, and then some bling to kind of give it a little bit of some pizzazz. And then, of course, again, the black cardstock. I really love Maker Forte's black cardstock because it's very nice and sturdy. Excuse me. And the last one I did, this was a full-on kind of a dark red background, kind of a fuchsia red, and I foiled it up with the lilac. Now you can kind of see some of the red showing through, which is okay. I thought it kind of gave it a little bit of a distressed look. And then I used Maker Forte's So Acute stencil, and I did some ink blending on the back side there, and then just sort of mounted it on top. This is another sentiment from Maker's Forte. I can't remember the name of the set yet, but again, I will link down below. Alright, well there you have it. So just 4 cute and very quick cards I made using the Rosey pattern paper and my foiling techniques. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and then also hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Stamp me some love. Bye-bye.